Python. Now you can say that Python is kind of the most easiest programming language that is available to be used. You can consider it this way, that since Python is one of the most common programming language in the world, it is used by computer programmers and by people in various professions that are interested in automating and scripting tasks and making their work more efficient. When we talk about Python, it is considered relatively a very simple language, which is easy to learn. So there are certain benefits that comes along. When you think about Python, number one benefit I think about is Python is a very easy language to learn. Okay, and it has very low entry barrier. In that particular case, people also think in this way that whenever someone or whenever a network engineer specifically is looking forward to learn Python, you should have some prior coding background or a background where you have worked with C, C++ or things like that. Well, that's not the case. Even if you do not know anything about Python, even if you do not know about any coding language or do not have any experience, it is completely fine. Okay, you can still Python because Python is learn and can be used for developing mobile as well as web applications, right? So various type of applications can be created inside of that, and it is called as an interpreter based scripting language, which means so there are multiple majorly two type of scripting languages or coding languages. One is compiler based coding language or scripting language, and the other one is interpreter based scripting language. When we talk about compiler based scripting language, what does it mean is whenever a compiler or whenever you write a code in a compiler based scripting language or coding language, that entire code will first be compiled, which means will first be wrapped together, and then that piece of code will be executed. But in interpreter based scripting language, every single line of the code is executed one by one. So there is no dependency that first your entire code needs to be compiled and then executed. It doesn't really matter to us specifically, but if you talk about technical aspects, then the compiler or the interpreter based scripting language puts less amount of effort or put less amount of load on the processor for executing the code and things like that. So that's why Python is a better choice when it comes to execution or when it comes to executing code or things like that. So there are two ways Python can be used in two ways. Number one is by using shell, which is default interpreter, which we also identify as Python dynamic interpreter. And second way is using IDE, which is integrated development environment, okay, which is IDE. And this is called a shell. What's shell? Whenever you install Python, the Python gives you a default tool that you can use in order to write down your code. IDE are external softwares. You might have heard about softwares like VS Code, software like PyCharm, software like Atom, Sublime Text, Notepad++. All of these external softwares, which are kind of code editors, and you can also execute your code inside the same software. This can happen very well by using IDE. Also, when we talk about Python, there are two versions. Python has two versions. Number one is Python 2 and second one is Python 3. The Python 2 used to be the preferred version before 2019, but after 2019 or in 2020 rather, Python 2 was completely outdated, and Python community stopped supporting Python 2. So there are no latest releases that comes in Python 2. Though Python 2 had a very good library support, and it was default Python that used to come on Linux and Windows devices. But now it's all Python 3 that we generally use. We are also going to write our code, all of them into Python 3, and that's exactly what we want to install. So to install Python, which we're gonna which you're gonna install. That's gonna be Python 3 only, and Python 3 can be installed from its website directly. So I'm gonna open my browser and I'm gonna type python.org. It's not python.com, it is python.org. So you say python.org. I go to their website, and by default, I'm gonna click on the download button. There is a download tab, and you would right away see a button that says download for Windows. And the latest version of Python 3 is Python 3.10.6. So I'm just going to click on that and it will start downloading that. I would also, I think, give you a link of that, copy link. I'm going to put it into chat. Python 3.10.6 can be downloaded. You can see the download is completed. Once it is completed, then I'm going to open that up. There is just one precaution that you need to take while installing Python. I'm gonna run that .exe file there. So the default window when it comes up, which says install Python 3.10.6, what you must do is you need to check that box that says add Python 3.10 to path. If you do not do this, then you would face issue accessing the default shell of Python. So check that box that says add Python 3.10 to path and then say install now. Give the permission and it will install the things. And then setup was successful. You can close this setup. You can close your browser also. And to access the default interpreter, which is shell, you will just need to open your command prompt and you just need to type Python and hit enter. When you type Python and hit enter, you would see some information that Python 3.10.6 is installed. And these three greater than sign indicates every line that you can type. The very basic thing that we do first in Python is print something. So we kind of print something by saying hello world. That's the first piece of code that you type in any line. And hit enter, it will execute that code and print out hello. This is just to check that your Python works. And if you want to take exit, you can simply type exit with brackets and hit enter and you will be out of that. Again, if you want to go into Python shell, type Python, hit enter, you're good, and then exit with this way, and you're good. That's how you need to verify that your Python is. If you do not do that add Python to path thing in your lab, then your interpreter like this way, it won't open up. So give it a try. I will give you around 5 to 7 minutes to do that. Okay, try it out. Once you're good installing that, then we should be good. That's exactly what we had to talk about in this session. If you have any issues installing it, let me know. I'll be here to help you there. Thank you.